All right, so one of the things Mythgard does really well compared to Magic is there's no resource variance in this game, which is great. So, as opposed to Magic, where you put lands into your deck and then you don't really have a ton of control over how many you draw or don't draw from game to game, in Mythgard, you can take any card in your hand and burn it to turn it into a resource. Let's turn sub mode off for a non-Magic game. Welcome to everybody that's still hanging out. You do feel start to see strain on the resource once you get a fourth. Yeah, that's true. So one of the things this game does really well that I found a lot of other digital card games don't do well is a lot of the games that remove resource variance from games like Magic tend to also remove a lot of the deck building aspect of the game as well. And Mythgard does a really good job of removing resource variance while still maintaining deck building depth with their color system. So in Mythgard, there are 6 different colors, and you can mix and match those colors in any sort of way. This actually isn't the deck I wanted to play. I wanted to try out this build, which is a similar deck, but slightly different. Yeah, I was actually just thinking out that, Sarko. We've been queuing for 90 seconds here. I did think it was a little bit weird that they decided not to roll their ranked season 1 right into the next, but that could also be something that because they want to leave themselves the ability to tune or change things in between ranked seasons, just because this game is currently in open beta. So every card in Mythgard, just to look at a card, has a cost in the upper left-hand corner, and then it also has gems or thresholds, whatever you want to call it, that go with it. So this card costs 2 total resources to play, and then it requires you have 1 blue threshold to play it out. Demolition Speedway is a card that also costs 2, requires you have 2 blue gems. Love the content. Add this towards dealer choice. Need that burrito center. Thanks, Coop, for the bits Kookie. Uh-oh. Well, I was hoping to do a couple hours of Mythgard tonight to fit in some of that, because I didn't think I was going to be able to fit in anywhere else this week. But if we don't have opponents, that might not be possible. Does this game have direct challenge? It does have a direct challenge option. If anybody's around and wants to play, we could do some of that. Yeah, Demolition Speedway is one of the best blue aggro cards for sure. I've been playing a more enchantment-based version of this deck, this archetype, but the enchantment-based build tends to play some real stinkers in it. So, some kind of medium enchantments. This deck has a little bit higher average card quality. Alright, so I queued with the wrong deck. That's awkward. That's fine. I thought, I must not have hit select, or maybe if I was already in the queue, it doesn't move it over. So I'm going to start by burning a card here. So when I burn a card, it gives me 1 resource and then one threshold here. And then this is an aggro deck that's based around playing these enchantment cards in it. And how enchantments work in this game, you deploy them into one of the 7 lanes. And then any of the units you put into that lane with the enchantment tends to get some kind of bonus. So here we have Karen Henge, which says Occupy minion has +1/+1. So any minions I deploy to the board here will be bigger. Demise, give all your other rebels minion +1/+1. Neat. Okay, so this is an orange card. So if I want to play this out, I need 2 resources and 1 orange threshold. So I'm going to go ahead and burn this Eager Recruit and then play Twin Fire Zealot over here. This card's really good in this deck with these enchantment power-ups because it has Frenzy, so it gets to attack twice. So these enchantments that give it extra attack allow it to kind of double up the attack bonus that you're getting from it.
Reporting.
Okay, so These will power up each other when they die. Opponent appears to be playing some kind of orange aggro deck. I guess I'll just trade this. And one of the things, the feedback on the interface of this game is just so well done. So to be able to see here, when I drag this here, it tells me that my unit's going to take 2 damage, their thing's going to die, and their unit in the middle is going to get bigger from the effect. And then when I mouse over this card, it says it has +1/+1, and it tells you where it has that +1/+1 from, which is great. Just started playing Mythgard myself. Does anybody know the best usage for Mithril? Bought the new player pack. Yeah, just fodder for packs, Shea Gravy. Packs are full arting cards are the 2 things it does. Hey, Vorsmith. Merry Christmas. My opponent's also playing an orange-blue aggro deck. Neat. One of the nice ways to be able to track down deck lists in this game is you can see if I hit view profile, it tells me this person was in the champion rank at one point, which is the highest rank that Mythgard has. And what's the word that I'm searching for? You can go watch replays and see like what people who are higher ranked have been playing. All right, I think I'm gonna play Scion of the Pride here, or burn Scion of the Pride, and then go sidecar plus recruit over here, I think is my plan. So sidecar is a minion with rush that then gives my minions next to it rush. So this 2/1 comes into play and has rush now, which lets it attack right away, so I get to attack them for 3. And then next turn, if they deploy any minions here as blockers, I can put Demolition Speedway on this lane to allow this to crunch in, and then this to crunch in with rush next to the sidecar. Yep, there's the Ifrit. So that's a 4/4, so our plan should work out pretty well here. They are hitting us for 5 in the middle, but we're kind of on pace to race them here. Let's see what else they do. This is a 3/4 over here. That's a phenomenal draw. So I get to go Demolition Speedway here, which now lets this trade here and crunch over for 1, because this gives it overrun. I hit them for 1, and then Twin Fire Zealot goes here, which is a 4/2, and it gets rushed from my sidecar. So this gets them for 4 twice, because it has Frenzy. So the way attacking and blocking in this game works is that you only block the lanes 3 in front of you. So because my opponent's 2 units are here, they don't block any of my things that are here or here. But if I deployed units on any of these 4 lanes, they'd be forced to attack these blockers first. Yeah, this card is very, very good with the Demolition Speedway. The sidecar in general too is just like, this card's pretty much a must kill. Anytime you leave this in play for the aggro deck, they're usually gonna do terrible things to you. Yeah, that swing was really big, right? Like we killed their thing and then hit them for 12 to their dome. Swung the race very hard here. I like this build of this deck that I'm playing a lot. We're going to try a slightly different build of it in the next game that's not quite as enchantment focused.
At last.
Yeah, agree with that, Marty. In general, not a huge fan, but definitely works well here. Okay, so what do I want to do here? They're dead, right? So this hits them for 3. And then this gives my minion Agile, which is a form of evasion, which lets it attack past their blockers. And then I can use my power up here to give this an extra attack, so I hit them for 3 twice. So have them 1 over dead there. Alright, let's make sure we swap to the other version before we... Journey Aggro. Yeah, I must not have swapped because I was already in the queue. Yeah, I had been... So because this is a fully digital game, unlike in Magic where you frequently see bans, there are balance patches in this game where they make some cards better and some cards worse. And after their last balance patch, I was struggling to find an aggro deck that I really liked, but this blue-orange build this blue-orange archetype has been really reasonable. That's a lot of sidecars. Alright, so let's start by burning Scion of the Pride here. We're definitely going to be burning some sidecars this game, but I want to deploy my 2 1-on-1, so we got to burn an orange card to start. Hey, Windowhead. Yeah, we did 2 historic decks. They'll be up on YouTube by tomorrow. Or shortly after I'm done tonight, more specifically. Opponent is playing a disc. So one thing I haven't gotten into about deck building tonight is every deck that you build has a path associated with it, which gives your deck a different effect. And my opponent's deck is this Disc of Circadia, which makes them discard a card when they activate it. And you can see here they discarded a 12/12. So their archetype is looking to be the reanimator archetype. I'm gonna go ahead and burn a side card here because I definitely don't need 4 of those. Yeah, we tried that for a little bit to start Revis, and there was just too much nonsense.
We have a mission.
So one of the things I feel like I'm able to do better than a lot of other people that stream is be able to interact with people in my chat while I play. And if there's too many messages going back and forth and flying around in chat, I'm unable to do that. So the ramp deck felt powerful. Definitely doing a reasonable linear thing. I think I just smacked them on each side. Yeah, as a heads up, my YouTube comments are open, and I read every message that gets posted on my YouTube channel. If you ever feel like there's something you really want to send over, you can always leave it as a message after the fact there, but I don't intend to put chat generically into non-sub only mode or to re-enable non-sub mode for shillings anytime soon.
Let's do this.
The overlay did toggle off. It should be toggled back on. Likes to randomly unload itself.
What is lost?
Yeah, so that's the tough nut to crack. So this is their reanimator enabler. It says when this dies, it gets replaced by the bottom minion of your boneyard. So they have a 12/12 over here. Thanks for the sub, Gifty Sunshine. So I have to decide if I want to attack this in, they get the 12/12 out, which probably isn't ideal for me. I think I'm going to go ahead and deploy this sidecar here and be able to crunch into this and then hit them here. And then I think I'm just going to burn a card and pass. I'm going to burn this recruiter. How do we deal with the 12/12? We have to attack through it. Giant Stairway might let me attack through it. Maybe. Maybe. This is definitely their ideal opener here. And this is the single scariest monster they can put into play. One of the ways this game does to balance certain cards out is the rarity of a card dictates how many copies of a card you can have in your deck. So this is a mythic, which means they can only have a singleton copy of it. So their chance of having this in the opener and then also having necromantic is pretty low overall. Yes, we do also have Dark Passenger. So their sidecar eats my sidecar. Not a good scene for us. Probably just dead at this point. I guess I have 2 copies of Dark Passenger in my deck. That could maybe be okay. Hey, evening, Telvik. Take a draw step at Dark Passenger before we pack it in. One of the other things that's awkward, and this isn't a huge part of it, but one of the things that's super awkward about letting non-subs post with the shillings is that the way that ends up working and the way it gets displayed in chat, it's awkward that it displays the shilling messages with like the same priority or display as like subscriptions or bits or anything like that. So it muddles like people that are giving me actual money and supporting my stuff directly with like, it makes it harder for me at a glance to identify like what I need to give extra priority to in terms of acknowledging like Monster. Thanks for the 17 months. Merry Christmas to you and yours. That's probably actually a bigger part of it than, that's probably feedback I should give to Twitch to have the option to like not have that be the case. So Recruiter here is a double orange 2-drop, so I'm gonna want to burn orange cards my first 2 turns of the game to get this down.
All right ahead.
So I'm going to go ahead and burn Scion of the Pride here. Recruiter says if the top card of my deck's a minion, we get to draw it. So hopefully that's the case.
Hey there.
Yeah, of course it's not. So my deck is, I believe, about 75. It's a little over 75% minions, and I actually have 3 non-minions in my hand. How likely were we to hit there? I have 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We had 7 misses in 34 cards. Merry Christmas, Niv. Super unfortunate.
Bone to ride.
Burn a Thunderclap here. Put my Afreet over here. Feels magic, man. Yeah. Yeah, that level of variance definitely feels magic. I'm not used to my Mythgard having that much variance in it. How does mana in this game work? So, like Magic, you can only gain 1 mana per turn or play 1 land per turn. But unlike Magic, where you put specific resources in your deck, you can just take any card in your hand and turn it into a resource here. So, for example, I don't think I really need this Dark Passenger at the moment. Famous. Oh. So I want to Thunderclap this turn to deal 2 damage to all my opponent's stuff, but notably, to highlight the resource system here, this not only requires 4 resources, but it requires blue. So if I want to play this turn, I need to burn one of my blue cards. So I'm actually going to burn the Giant Stairway, I think. And we'll go ahead and we'll give them the clap, which is going to kill all their stuff here. One of the things that this game does really well, if you think this game looks interesting from watching it and you want to give it a try, is that, what's the word? What's the word that I'm searching for? When you create an account in this game, every account has assigned to it 2 decks at random out of their pool of pre-constructed feature decks, and these are decks that you can play ranked and unranked with without owning any of the cards in it. So it's a great way to really sample the gameplay without having to own a bunch of cards. That's really unfortunate. So this card gets bigger every time we play a unit. And then this gives their Occupy minion overruns. They just crunched into us for a lot there. That being said, glad we held on to the Dark Passenger here. This gives my unit Deadly, and then Demise, we draw a card. So these will trade off here, and I'll get to draw. And then I think I'm going to go ahead and burn this Eager Recruit and drop the Beast here. Yeah, like they're... A lot of them, some of the decks are just like straight tier 1 decks. Other decks do a good job of highlighting like interesting mechanics that the game offers. That's unfortunate. So this gives their units a free move and teleport action, so they get to slide this down here. Frediki Sidecar is actually a phenomenal draw here. So this gives the minions next to it Rush. So this thing is a good positional unit. This says all minions across from it get fragile and -1 attack. So if I slide this down, this becomes fragile, so it takes extra damage in combat. Then my sidecar here will give minions on either side of it rush. So I can sidecar, play Recruiter over here. Recruiter gets rush, and then this trades here because this is fragile. And this can attack their face. Overrun does not hit us when we attack their minion.
To battle!
So this thing's doming us for 3 every turn down here, which feels a little bit bad. Next turn, we get to parry at the gates over here and trade with this, and parry generates a lot of card advantage. It draws a card when it comes into play, and then it draws another, lets us Divination 2 and draw another card. So, actually, so I get to do this. How does the economy compare to Arena? I feel like you get a similar amount of cards. The cards to dollars ratio is very comparable to Arena. However, the way in which you acquire cards differs a little bit. So, what I mean by that is the economy in this game is a really nice mixture of both wild cards and the kind of dusting crafting system that Hearthstone has. So there are both wild cards in this game, and you can dust cards that your opponent, or that you don't want, which is great if you have like common and uncommon wild cards. I don't need them at this point because I have most of those cards, so I just dust them. It's not quite directly the same as Duel Masters, because if I recall in Duel Masters, when you turned a card into a resource, it went away forever. Whereas because this game is digital, when you turn a card into a resource, it goes back into your deck and just kind of marks down that it's been used as a resource. So for example, I burned this Braggy last turn, and it shows that I have this here. Giant Stairway is real good. Wow, that's brutal. That's really slick. So Giant Stairway gives their minion +3/+3, so they put it underneath there and attacked me with it, and then this activation gave their units an extra move action, so it let them switch places, so they get a second hit on the same lane. The Mono Blue Aggro deck is one that I've been meaning to take a look at too. I haven't had a chance to play it yet. And it's worth noting here, too, if I would have positioned my minions differently that game, I would have been able to not die to that Giant Stairway. So the way the blocking in this game works is if I would have positioned that extra unit I played on lane 1 or 2, they wouldn't have been able to hit me with that twice. Yeah, that's what WoW TCG used to do for Exian Fox. So very similar to this, but this game gets to take it kind of one step further because it's digital. So I don't have any 1-drops here. Might want a Twin Fire or Thane on 2, depending. Both of these are just single thresholds. So I'm going to burn one of these 3 Afrits here. Probably don't need all of those. Born Again. So I want to stay away from this one. This one says it bounces back to your hand at end of turn. I'm going to go ahead and burn the sidecar. And I think I'm going to go ahead and deploy the Zealot over here. Because if they don't put a blocker in front of this that kills it, I can put Demolition Speedway under it, which would allow it to attack twice for 4. What is my plan? I think I'm going to go ahead and burn the Thane here. And then I can sidecar here, which lets me kill this. And then this can kill this. And then this is no longer blocked because there's nothing in either of these lanes blocking it. And we get to hit their face. They are going to get to have this kill my sidecar next turn, but I think that's fine because then this is still kind of open. Thunderclap. That's rough. Does 2 to all my stuff. Alright, so Thane is a great blocker to put here in the middle. This is a 2-3 that fully heals whenever an opposing minion dies. And then I think at this point I'm going to burn the Scion. And then put the Twinfire Zealot over here. I'm deploying it to the right this time, so that way it's further away from this 1-1, so it's less likely to get blocked next turn. I give my minion -2 attack, so another 2 things just get to beat it up in combat. It's rude. Brainstorm, draw 2, sure. So you get to go ahead and Demolition Speedway over here and crack them for 8. And then I think I just go ahead and burn this Efreet. Do I just play the Efreet out here? I'm at 16. Yeah, Speedway was always +2. They added a second. It used to only be 1 threshold. So they added a second threshold to this in the last balance patch. I could also just deploy another Twinfire Zealot down here. Just because there's a good chance they have Deported in their hands. They're probably gonna give this the trump and send it back to my hand next turn. I'm at 16 and this is only 3 damage in the middle. I'm gonna play the other Twinfire Zealot down here. Gives me a better chance, especially with the Demolition Speedway, to attack for 8 next turn. So I expect we'll see this get bounced. God, that's so brutal. Every time I make a decision, we keep getting punished for it. That's rough. Just deals 2 to all my stuff. Alright, so I'm going to burn Speedway here. And I think I'm going to sidecar. And then Efreet here. So Efreet comes into play at Divinations. Giant Stairway, parry at the gates. I think I'm going to take the parry. Can you feel it? Wonder if we'll see them slide the board again down here. They might also still just deport this, which would not be great for me. Buys them a lot of tempo. Yeah, they're just racing here at this point. Oh, and it was ephemeral, so it's just gone. Alright, so let's play parry over here. It's another sidecar for later. So, do I want to... I want Thane, right? Because Thane blocks these 2 in the middle nicely. To battle. So, my path with this deck says whenever one of our non-ephemeral minions die, we collect a soul. And then at the start of our turn, if we have 3 souls, we pick up the bottom minion of our discard pile back to our hand. So that was how we got the sidecar back to our hand to pick back up out of here. So even if they manage to kill both of these things this turn, we'll get to pick something back up out of our discard pile. This is going to hit us for 3-2. Think we're dead. Because this is going to give something Frenzy next turn. And they have a Deported in hand waiting to make us bounce. Yeah, I can't cover this and this. Just fall a little bit too far behind in that race. It's kind of neat, blue-green aggro. The blue aggro decks have definitely been my favorite in this game so far. Thunderclap is just such a fantastic aggro card. All right, I'm nowhere near done with Mythgard. I'm planning to go for probably another hour, hour and a half tonight, but I'm going to hit a quick Aggro and run to the restroom really quick, so I'll be back in just a minute with some more. I think we're going to play a little bit more of this and then probably change to something else for the second hour, so back in a second. Clap and sidecar didn't clear the board. Braggy's warded, so Braggy doesn't take damage from Clap. Back in a second. Perfect timing. 60 seconds, the perfect amount. Yeah, the Magus 2. I think I was maybe capable of beating the first time you dealt 2 to my entire board, but when the second deal 2 happened, I think it was just too far gone. My magic experience would be greatly diminished if you weren't around. Thanks for what you do. Thanks for the 24 months, Anti-Trumpet. I appreciate that. Welcome back. All right, I think I'm going to burn the second Thane here and drop the Valkyrie over this way.
Let's do this.
Demolition Speedway is probably the bigger draw to blue than Clap. Yeah, I agree that this is the better aggro payoff.
The sands are eternal.
I agree with that assessment. I also just like this card more, though, so... This is the draw for me. This is the card I've been enjoying playing. All right, so we're gonna burn this recruiter because we don't have any orange. Now I have to decide what I want to do here. I could Demolition Speedway under this and trade these plus deal 4 to them. Alternatively, I could sidecar, kill this, and then deal 3. I kind of like that. Just like use this as a removal spell. Opponent has Fires of Creation here, which rewards them for playing artifacts specifically. So I wonder what artifacts they're playing.
The sands are eternal.
Alright. Let's go ahead and give them the clap here and then smack them for 3 again. One of the things that's really nice about this game is because of the way the resource system works, you get a lot of control over. Choose one of your lanes without notifying opponents. When an enemy attacks that lane, you must first take 4 damage and sacrifice this. All right, so they're gonna choose this lane and kill my 3/3 then, right? That's annoying. That's basically just a removal spell.
Sands are eternal.
Oh, that's a good one. Second Thunderclap was a good draw. Wow, really? Just like the next level, they just assumed I was going to be able to kill their thing, and they hourglassed that? That's a real tilter. Was not expecting that. So obviously should have Demolition Speedway to attacked through and played this. That was some 4D chess style crap, yeah. For sure. Alright, so let's go Thane here, recruit here. And then I unfortunately don't have another orange threshold, so even though I have 1 resource left, I can't play the Paris recruit out here.
Fortune favors us.
So what's our best draw at this point? Probably a Magnus. So if I want to play this Speedway over here, I have to burn the sidecar this turn. I don't think that's very good. I think I'd rather just do this. And then pass, and then like, next turn I can go recruit plus sidecar over here and crunch into them. These deserts are slowly killing me. Regen 2 and +1 attack while occupying a desert. Awkward. If this is the thing that deals 2 damage to stuff, I'm in a pretty medium spot. I'm kind of in a bad spot regardless, though.
Hey, oil!
Yeah, I guess I could put a recruit out, like, here, since they don't have Impel. It's just the one that doesn't take retaliatory damage. It's also not great for me. Yeah, I think we're dead again. I don't know if we just, like, hit a bad run, or if this build's just much worse than the build that has the enchantments in it. It's hard to really know with small sample sizes.
At last.
This year and this year. I also feel like we've played a number of like really close games where things have broken slightly differently. We'd be better off, which is like the story of playing variants by design games. Think of overrun. Oh, and we're just dead, so we can't stack into their enchantments, right? It's a desert. Desert slowly kill us there. Let's try one more with this, and then we'll probably switch off. You have a blue-yellow enchantment deck that someone had put into the deck queue. Kick the tires on that for the last deck of the night. It's possible that rather than pivoting off the enchantment theme, I should just, like, add a card like Parry to the enchantment build. Having a way to draw a little bit of cards at the top end could be good in that configuration that's closer to what we've been playing previously. Probably burn the Dark Passenger here to start, so we can possibly recruit her on too. Have a good night, Enya. Jerry from HR. What's going on over there? Plan stays the course. They've got their maze here, which starts off with 3 toughness, and at the start of every turn it gains +1, and they can sap 3 life off of it to get a card. Now with this deployed down here, I might just play Twin Fire Zealot. I think I'm gonna burn a Thane here and put Twin Fire Zealot over here and possibly Demolition Speedway and get attacking next turn. Yeah, the base power and toughness is definitely higher than Magic, and in large part, I think that's due to how the combat system in this game works. So Mythgard has a lot more player agency and interactivity than Magic tends to have on average in my experience, and in large part that's due to the fact of how the resource system, the combat system in this game works. So in a way, every minion is also a removal spell if you want it to be in this game. All right, so Bename Falls here. I think this is actually a sign that I want to start deploying down over here to the right. So I think I'm going to burn... I want to play the Ifrit, but I'm not quite sure what I want to burn this turn. I kind of feel like I want to hold both Demolition Speedways. Maybe I just don't have time for parry at the moment. I'm going to burn the Recruiter. Yeah, I completely agree with that, Percy. On average, Hearthstone is more interactive than Magic 2 based on how their combat system works, and I really feel like Mythgard does a good job of marrying the best parts of Hearthstone's combat system to the best parts of Magic's system. So the part of Hearthstone's combat system that really sucks is the part that is the fact that you can just like mono face people, right? Just like run down by attacking their face over and over again. And this game doesn't have that issue because it takes the blocking aspect that we have from Magic, which is great.
Locked in.
So this is blighted from their Poxbringer. So next turn this is going to get -2/-2 again and then die. That's not too big of a deal. This game gives you counterplay on the attacks based on the positional blocking. So this lets them look at the top 2 cards of my deck and then put one back. Put the other one where they want it. So the Serpent's Den here is actually pretty good for me because what it allows me to do is I get to put Demolition Speedway underneath this, which then I can go ahead and plus on here, and then this crunches over here, and then the second attack does this and crunches over as well. And now I gotta decide what I want to burn this turn. I think it's just Dark Passenger. And then if I manage to draw a blue card to burn next turn, I can go Sidecar plus Thane down over here. So this enchantment, the reason why I decided to deploy to the right is because this enchantment gives them 2 life whenever they deploy a minion here. So basically I want to try and discourage them from deploying minions here because they got to defend down over this way. We'll see if they have something to deploy over here to block these speedways a little bit. They do have another Serpent's Den, sure. Blue card, please. Blue card I can burn, please. Eager Recruit. That's fine, right? I play this here. I say crunch over, you take 2. I say Eager Recruit. Crunch over, you take 3. Paris Recruit, smack your face for 3. Have I mentioned that this card's disgusting? Sidecar's a good payoff for blue aggro too. We're talking about potential payoffs for blue aggro. Sidecar's a real good one. So again, the reason why I couldn't play the Thane there is because this required a blue threshold and Sidecar took both my only blue thresholds I had there. Immolation Cloak's real good. That makes it so both of these take damage at the end of the turn. So this snake's gonna kill both my things. So kinda need to draw another sidecar here. A Freet's not bad. I have 0 souls left. Let's start with parry and see what we get.
Fortune favors us.
Thane and Stairway. Stairway could let us sneak in the last few points of damage here. Non-magic numbers tend to be lower to allure. Usually we have like 400 or so for Mythgard. But definitely lower than magic. I think we peaked at like 650 or 700 tonight for magic.
To battle!
How intriguing.
So this has overrun. So this can kill this and then... This can kill this and then deal me 3. They're at 11. If we can find a sidecar with these demolition speedways could let us plunk them out. Or they can pump up the jam and deal a bunch to us here. Oh, Screaming Goat takes away their attack. Yeah, it totally does. Okay, so I get to do this, which gives this -1 attack. And then I get to crunch over here, which actually heals this back up. So that's really good. And then... Oh, I can actually Dark Passenger the Screaming Goat now, right? Well, these are going to trade anyways, though, right? Okay, so that doesn't make sense. I'm going to Efreet down over here. Yeah, let's do that. So the 2/4 doesn't hit me. Gosh, all of these cards kind of suck, huh? I guess I take a Freet just to block. Down to 9.
Leave it all on the track.
I guess they're gonna do that and kill my Thane. Sure. We're pretty close to parity, huh? We might die to the second Efreet. That's true. Playing a second one of those out could maybe have been a mistake. It's a reason to take something else.
In shadow.
Clap could be very good next turn. Can play out Eager Recruit. Huh? What if I put Eager Recruit here and put Dark Passenger on it? So that way this can't kill it for free. And then this can kill it, but that lets me Giant Stairway over here for value, right? I think I like Recruit plus Passenger. I guess that means I'm going to lose 4 life, though. But their colors don't have a lot of rush, right? So if I'm losing 4, 5, 6... Oh, they're going to get Racer back with Vixen guaranteed. Yeah, that's true. Okay, so that makes that line worse. But I don't really want to take 4 then.
Reporting. Do we have a mission?
This returns the bottom spirit from their discard pile, and Racer is a spirit. This is probably going to kill this over here, though, right? Depending on how this turn goes, Clap is on top of my deck, and Clap puts them to 7 and kills this blocker, and then this does 7, right? So, if they don't deal with this, I have them dead to this hero power Clap next turn. Oh, they're going to get to Racer here.
Leave it all on the track.
Man, that's brutal. And they get to get rid of my Thunderclap now. That's really tilty. That's super unfortunate. Yeah, I don't know. It's hard to, it's just small sample sizes, tough to know. Like, maybe I was underestimating how important the randomly picking extra enchantments up off the top of my deck was in the Journey to Souls build. Or in the Rainbow, whatever it's called, build. This is Immortal and Deadly, so this attack doesn't do anything here. Yeah. Hit points from the Bename Fall, just a little bit too much to overcome here, and these are dealing damage to me. One of the things that Efreet does really well when you have the Rainbows in is frequently these draw you cards just with the divinations, and not having those divinations in this build draw you cards. Definitely felt that. Was more constrained on resources. Yeah, this build felt like a missed me overall. I'm glad I tried it. It was an idea I had last night when I was poking at the other variation of the deck, but I think we actually didn't win a game. we played a lot of really close ones, but actually didn't get on the scoreboard. All right, let's delete that failure of a one. I think I want to try a couple copies of Perry at the Gates in here. Well, I'm not quite sure over what. Maybe there's just not room. Maybe there's just not room. This build has 13 enchantments in it, so you're a little over 25% to draw with Rainbow's End, and then your various divinations give you extras, which is nice. All right, we are gonna go ahead and I'm gonna do one more Mythgard deck tonight.